right, it's another edition of We Gotta Believe live on Clubhouse right now. If you are on the Clubhouse app, you can join the other couple dozen people who are in there with us right now and be one of the original We Gotta Believe Clubhouse beta members. We do 3 rooms. We can start an official club. So we can so a couple more episodes of this and we'll have our official fan club, which I do believe, unfortunately, we are back into Mets Fans Anonymous territory. So Clem, I'd like to pitch an idea to you. Every Thursday, we do a Mets Fans Anonymous clubhouse where it's basically like an AA meeting. You stand up. We'll let a couple fans have the mic where they'll stand up and say, "Hi, my name is Anthony, and I'm a Mets fan," and they can vent for like 10 seconds, and it's back to being the support that we need. Because right now, not fun. It's not fun right now. It's gonna be. This team is gonna be fucking good. And once we start playing baseball, I think it'll be good. But we got a couple more weeks to go before that even happens. And I'm sure more of the sky is going to continue to fall. And I think they need the fucking support now again, Clem.
I'm starting to lose my fucking mind. I've just come to the point where I think everyone's losing their mind. We've been inside for a full year online, right? We had like a little smattering of summer. We had some holidays. Now we are in February. It's cold. We're getting snowed in. It snowed for like 75 hours straight at my house. It was
it was crazy.
And then I just we think we escape the whole shit storm of what we've been going through with the Wilpons leave. Uncle Stevie comes in, our savior who we love. And then the last week happens.
Here's the thing. I think what I've learned, because I had a moment of trepidation where I was like, what if the Mets are always the Mets, no matter if it's Steve Cohen or Jeff Wilpon? And I think that's true to an extent. I think we're always going to have drama. We're always going to have scandals. We're always going to have LOL Mets. I just think the difference is that the Cohen regime will hopefully continue to keep it at like a minimum where it's like, yep, this happened, but bam, we're handling like this. Keep it fucking moving. Oh, and by the way, we just traded for like the best fucking shortstop in baseball. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're going to go here. Like, keep it moving so the fan base can't even dwell on the negatives. Because, like I said, I mean, if this team is bad, that will be the most disappointing thing for me since maybe 07. Like I have high hopes for this team. And if they just come out and go fucking, 72 and 90, whatever, I'm going to be devastated. So if we can get this in baseball, I think that will be fine. And I think in the meantime, whatever else comes our way, because unfortunately, I think the Porter story hits. I think the Callaway story hit because the Porter story hit. It was like, oh, we can just run this back and get our clicks and get our attention and expose people and keep going with this. There's the true, genuine good side of this. We need to protect people and get this sport better for women in baseball. And then the other side where it's like, oh, we can get, as many headlines as possible. So I think, if there's more skeletons, if there's more to come out, if there's more scumbags, if there's more stories, these things might keep happening. You just have to keep the faith that the brain trust in place now can weather the storm each and every time it happens. Because you know who's not dealing with this well? I'll give you one fucking guess. Frank Fleming, Frank the Tank. Listen to this, Clem. He's the fucking QAnon of Mets life. You know what he told me that day? I'm in the fucking elevator with Colin, and he goes, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. Conforto's going to walk. Lindor's not getting paid. I've heard about it. I heard behind the scenes he's not happy, and I heard he's not even going to play. We're not even going to see Francisco Lindor. We're going 10 and 152. It's happening. And I was like, Frank, shut the fuck up, Frank. Just fucking pipe down.
For the people that think that that's an act, which I was in that camp when he first started.
Ooh.
It was 8:30 in the morning, and I shit you not, he is biting his scarf and ripping into it the same way he did it to his shirt, talking about the same thing. He's like, they're not going to re-sign Lindor. Conforto is going to go to the Phillies. I'm like, first of all, payroll aside, they can't even afford Conforto. That makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah. And did you see the MLB Network top 10 list? We have a player at every single position's top 10.
Well, I love how we have the second best second baseman who doesn't play second base.
We have
the second best player at a position, and we don't play him at that position.
And then we have the number 6 left fielder, who's not even a left fielder. Dom Smith is just fucking square peg, round hole. We just jam him into left field. Brandon Nimmo at number 5. What the fuck was that? But yeah, number 1, for anyone who didn't see it, number 1, DeGrom. Number 10 at catcher, McCann. Number 7 at first baseman, Pete Alonso. Number 2 at second base, Jeff McNeil. Number 4 is shortstop, Francisco Lindor, which might be low when it's all said and done, right?
Well,
6, Dom Smith. 5, Nimmo at center field. And then Michael Conforto at number 7, right.
I know that we are in like the golden age, another golden age of shortstops. Francisco Lindor is not the 4th best shortstop in baseball. I think when he's out of Cleveland in New York, if he has a monster season this year, that's going to change. People are not going to say Francisco Lindor is 4th in his fucking position anymore. Under the bright lights with a big time fan base, if he has a big year, forget about it. If he has a bad year, also forget about it. People are going to go fucking crazy. But hey, that's the New York way.
But
all right.
Like you said, though, we're not living in the real world. You know where we are? You know what we're living in right now? After the last week, I finally realized we're living in Portnoy Vision, not WandaVision. We're living in Portnoy Vision. We all are online. The entire world has been forced to go to online, and the gatekeeper is Dave fucking Portnoy. And he's been waiting for this moment for years, and now we are in his world, and he can craft whatever he wants it to look like, and it's not fucking fun.
I don't want to hear about that paper hands bitch, okay? My dude, my man Portnoy came at the king, and boy, did he miss. Okay, yeah, Steve Cohen, he doesn't want to be on Twitter anymore. You know what else he did that week? He made $1 billion. He made his investment in Melvin Capital, and it came back in the form of $1 billion. Steve Cohen does not lose, ever, period. You are chump change, all of you, everybody, from me to you to Portnoy and everyone in this world almost. It's like, aside from fucking Bezos and Musk, is fucking chump change to my guy Steve Cohen. And I will follow him to the depths of hell and whatever's beyond. And when these people call me a bootlicker or they say stop like dick riding a billionaire, I love when people say to me, so you're gonna align yourself with the billionaires? Yeah.
That was the whole fucking point of him buying the team.
Yes. I want everything to be aligned with the super rich and powerful people in the world. Yes. That's who I'm picking over you fucking chumps on Reddit. Yeah. It's my guy, Steve Cohen, me and him, till we're fucking dead. So that's the difference. I like the Callaway story. The Porter story is just like, boom, done. I don't think anybody's even fucking talking about it anymore because they were just like, you're gone. The Callaway story is, I think we will still see some more fallout from that. I think there's going to be more problems. That some people are already beating the drum of like, this is Sandy's fault. They didn't interview a single woman. Not interview, but they didn't like background check with a single woman. I mean, I think unfortunately this is a very reactive thing. You wish that all sports and all industries and all hiring processes were very proactive and got ahead of this. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And I think like from now on, that's the kind of shit that's going to happen. If you want to be a Major League Baseball exec, you're probably going to have to get like your ex-girlfriends interviewed and your female friends and family members and ex-female coworkers. Because the only thing that I do have to say, I don't want to throw, Sandy or anyone under the bus. It was a pretty badly kept secret where I think everyone was kind of like, yeah, I've heard some things about Mickey Callaway. It was he never touched anybody that we knew of or anything like over the line. It was just always texts and flirting. But it was like, yeah, Mickey likes to talk to girls. Now, now there's just no gray area anymore. You're not allowed to do any of this shit. All of it is off limits. And I think going forward, it's going to be a problem. Or not a problem, but a different process. But I think 2 in a row like this, I don't think it's going to be Sandy, but somebody's going to get fired. Somebody's going to get reprimanded. The Mets are going to have to come out with a overhaul of their whatever it is. I don't think we're done with the Mickey Callaway story yet.
No, and you do like to see that with Porter. It was like news story comes out that night, next day, fired. And fucking Steve Cohen had a statement out about Mickey Callaway, who was years before he was even the owner, before the Angels did. And I know the Angels have to suspend him before they fire him because it's cause and legal issues and all that kind of shit. But like, give us some sort of like statement and the fact Steve Cohen's like, nope, boom, nip this in the bud.
Smart.
That's the kind of shit you want to see from, ownership. And I do like, we could go over it a million times, but like this is something that starts at the top of like, I mean, not just baseball, not just sports. It's like every fucking industry you hear about these fucking creep scumbag weirdos and shit like that. That's to start at Manfred. You're gonna have to hold the franchises accountable, teams accountable, players, everyone. Media. I'm sure there's media members who are everyone's. You know, you could be a creep in any fucking avenue of life.
Yeah, I mean, I get that like. That sports is obviously a male-dominated industry, but I feel like when people like it's so tough to be a woman in sports, like it's probably tough to be a woman fucking anywhere. I don't think this is limited to sports. I think that like most professional industries are male-dominated, and they're probably all dealing with it. So maybe it's a little bit heightened in sports, but this is a problem fucking everywhere, not just for the New York Mets, not just for baseball, just like the world. And unfortunately, the Mets somehow, some way become like the poster child for it because they have 2 ex-employees. Like, why is this not an Angel story? Go fucking talk to the Angels. They're the fucking idiots who still employ this guy. At least we saw the writing on the wall and said, this guy's, we know he's at least an idiot. I don't know anything else, but we know he's a fucking moron. So see you later. Also, what I think is interesting is it sheds a little bit of light on the Jared Porter story because Mickey Callaway is saying there was no wrongdoing. That's why there needs to be an investigation, and that's why it's a suspension, not a firing. So Jared Porter must have just been like, yep, you got me. Because if he said, like, no, I did no wrongdoing, we would probably still be suspended and investigating that. I mean, that could – I don't know, maybe not for a pitching coach, but I could see that lasting, like, the whole fucking season. That could be months, I feel like, where you got to, like, compile evidence and get lawyers and court dates and arraignments and shit. So Jared Porter must have just been like, oh yeah, that was me. Big time.
That was the thing. He was like, those texts are mine, but that dick isn't. I took it from the internet. And they were like, well, that's a fucking weird thing to say, but okay. See yourself out.
Statement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the thing with MLB though is like, if the MLB has to investigate independently, and you're not going to obviously do this for every employee, but like if you're at a high enough position in like the org chart, MLB should just do a background check themselves every time and cover their own ass, so they're not dealing with this constantly.
I mean, again, in the case of Mickey Callaway, if you talked to a couple females close to the Mets, close to baseball, you probably could have sussed this one out. I think that Mickey Callaway is fucking stupid, and I think that a lot of other people are gonna cover their tracks better if they do have like precarious pasts. You know, you do NDAs or you cover things up or whatever. I don't know. Maybe some of these guys are scouts and they never expect to become like a full GM and they don't ever think like, hey, the girl I'm texting right now while I'm just working in like the AA affiliate might come back to bite me when I'm like the GM of the big leagues one day. So I don't know. It just does feel like something, take the basic steps of talking to, if you can find an ex-girlfriend, if you can talk to an ex-female coworker. But I do think it's going to be hard to find this kind of shit unless you do are you going to do like full-blown CIA, FBI type background shit on every single hire? I don't know how, you find some of these things. I mean, if you have victims who are afraid to come forward for the story, why are they going to come forward for a background? It's the same thing. You're always going to require some chicks to be courageous and speak on it, whether it's before or after. Obviously, you hope that it's before, and we take those steps. But it does seem like it's until like there's kind of a paradigm shift or a culture change of like you can't just text whatever you want, you can't just send your dick around wherever you want. It's probably going to be a more difficult thing to police. But I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, and you would hope that Mickey and Porter and anyone else that comes out in the near future, that prevents at least just one person, if not a ton of people, from being like, maybe I shouldn't bother this chick after like the third text message. We'll just say, not meant to be, not in the cards, maybe, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's all you can really like. I'm sure there's people smarter than us who can figure out a way to like create some sort of system. But again, it comes down to, like you said, people actually going forward and coming through. Like, this, I mean, I don't know who else. Like, if you look at Jared Porter's phone, I don't know what else is fucking in those text lists, right? But this reporter was not like, it's not like she was around all the time. Like, they just a chance meeting in the Yankee Stadium. It's not like she was like the number one beat reporter for the. I mean, where was he? Where was he? Was it the Cubs when this all started, or was it the Diamondbacks?
All I know is he met her in an elevator. I think at Wrigley Field, like in an elevator somewhere, right? It was just like, hey, what's up? I mean, that's what's crazy. And it sounds like Callaway just, texted every fucking female he ever could come in contact with, which is,
And those fucking pictures, like the shirtless Mickey Callaway, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? And wife too, like, you know,
you know what's nuts is like I feel like if any of these were reciprocated, then you get into a gray area where it's like, I don't know, these are two adults. They had, they were into each other. Like, but how do you just text like everybody and never get a response, never find a girl who's like, yeah, I do like you? Because that's where it's like, yeah, this is now going from like, all right, yeah, listen, you got a wife and kids, there's certain behavior you shouldn't do, but now you're crossing over into like harassment because none of them are ever responding to you. Yeah. So fucking stop. It's like, you hate to say it, but if a bunch of these girls were into it, it's grimy behavior, but like, it fucking happens in the world. But none of them ever are into it.
In the words of, Frank the Tank said it perfectly. Mickey Callaway, bad manager, worst person. Like that's all you have to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To say it's something, because it was bad enough when he was just like the fucking guy who was just absolutely terrible at managing a game. The Mickey Callaway, I just remembered the batting out of order, like his first fucking month of the season. Like, bad manager, worst person, bottom line, put a fucking pin in it.
Do you know Frank's song for Mickey? MICKEYMORON, Mickey Moron. You are a spectacular idiot, Frank Fleming. So
we'll just put that, do we even like the Mets misery bracket? We're moving beyond all that shit, and we just hope that this is like. Because I feel like we're back in 2020 right now. I feel like we're back in 2020 having the same conversations.
I will move past it after I got to ask you what seeds are these two events? I think Jared Porter is like 1 or 2 seed material. Mickey Callaway not as much, but Jared Porter, the selfies, the dick pics, the everything about him. 37 days as a GM. You want to throw that as a 1 seed? I am not stopping you. You go right ahead.
Yeah, because the thing about Beltre was with another team and it was preposterous, but like the mouth open picture and 62 is it's an unfathomable number. It's fucking Roger Maris, right? The fact that it's right there with an immortal baseball number, with Mark McGwire, it's like, what the fuck, man? So it feels like just complete utter misery with that.
Now, it's also like we were riding so high. If you go back and pull the tape, it was like we were screaming from the heavens about infrastructure, about we don't need Theo, like all this.
We got the worst infrastructure in baseball. Fuck. We've specifically highlighted the front office and the people behind the scenes. We got the worst. Oh my god! But here's the thing.
Oh shit.
So I think Sandy needs to play this like very carefully. I think he needs to be like, here's what we're doing. Here's how I'll stop this. Here's what I am culpable from. Like, admit to a little bit, whatever. I think once we get rolling, if we win it, like what this team needs is like a 7-1 start. Big time. Fucking big time. And fortunately enough, the Mets are like known to do that. That is the one thing, we're like the best team in fucking April and May often. So, because this will all fucking go away. It'll be a couple months old. Both people are gone. The Steve Cohen Twitter shit. By the way, has anybody ever been more right about something than me, Steve Cohen, and Twitter?
Go off, King. Go off.
I called that literally from night 1. And everybody told me about the uniforms and what do you want to change at the ballpark? And he's so nice and he's a man of the people. And I mean this respectfully. No, he's not. He's not a man of the people. He shouldn't be a man of the people. He should not be slumming it with us skells on Twitter. He should be back in the shadows, pulling the strings, doing what he's always done to be successful. Why switch up your whole fucking thing? You've been wildly successful one way. Now you have a new endeavor. Do the same fucking thing that way. So stay off Twitter. I know some people think of that as like an L. In our stupid world, it's a badge of honor to not delete your tweets and to not delete your Twitter and all this stupid shit. That's because we need this. This is our bread and butter. This is how we make our living. If it was an extra, if I didn't need this shit, I'd fucking delete my Twitter too. I'd be with Steve Cohen on an island having a normal fucking psyche because I don't deal with these scumbags on Twitter all day. So whatever you want to talk about, you can say that he was the cause of the fucking Robin Hood collapse. You can say that he's a bitch for deleting Twitter, whatever. He came out on top and made the absolute right decision to get him and his family off of Twitter. I mean, his wife, his daughters, everybody was getting shit. And they were like, why are we doing this? This is terrible. Like, I thought this was going to be fun, and it's not. Totally normal to delete something out of your life that is that much, bringing that much misery. So I wish they saw the light a little earlier, but I'm happy that they finally did.
I wish it's almost the point I wish he just never was on. It was just so nice to have him there, reassure us, bust some balls or whatever, roast a few fucking columnists and shit like that. I enjoyed that. And Mama Cohen did not just, I mean, none of the family shit.
No.
All those scumbags that did that. And then we get lumped in with it because, you know, and the thing is, like, Portnoy never says like to like mock, you know, go at these people and all this kind of stuff. But there's lunatics on the internet. You know how, I mean, we get. And then we get blamed for the same shit. The Nate blog was an absolute, you know, travesty. It was a joke. I mean, Dave, even on his show, like, he ripped it apart too. So
did he? What did Dave say?
He said it shouldn't have been published the way it was. He goes, if I write it, it's one thing. But then if it's written like that, it's Barstool saying it, right? And he's like, words last a lot longer than like just saying a video, a tweet or whatever.
Nate texted me after everything, and he was like, I know you're mad at me, but like, can we talk? And I was like, I never even called him back. I'm like, I don't, there's nothing to talk about. It's a stupid blog. I've done it. You'll do it, but again, I'll do it again. It happens. But that was like spectacularly like rookie type shit. But,
and I get
that title was preposterous.
We live in this bombastic business that like we all like kind of like go crazy.
Even,
right?
okay, yes, but that title. Yeah. Even for, I mean, I'm the king of this shit. I can't throw stones. I live in this glass house. I have had as many inflammatory headlines, and I've said dumb shit. I've had dumb tweets. I had one fucking 3 days ago about Trevor Bauer. I do it all the time. And even I was like, what the fuck is this headline? It just kept going. It had 3 levels to it. It was like harsh words. It's like, what did Steve Cohen do to fucking Eric Nathan that warrants this? So yeah, I think like everyone agrees that was stupid. I did pass along, like, on behalf of We Gotta Believe. I was like, not all of us think this way at Barstool. I'm sure there would be like, I was told like, oh, thank you, like, we'll pass that along. I'm sure they'll be like, we don't fucking care. Like, it's coming from the top. It's coming from Barstool. Fuck Barstool. I think our saving grace is that Steve Cohen has no idea about Barstool at the Ballpark. No idea. I don't think like some Mickey Mouse 5 outings a year, probably $50,000 thing occurring is even on his radar. So I don't think you can cancel what you don't know exists. So it will be interesting to see, like come opening day when I'm tweeting out, like, get your tickets at Mets.com/Barstool. Right. Maybe then he'll be like, no, you're fucking not. So until we can we get through all Barstool at the Ballparks, because I think he might catch on after 1. He might catch on after 2. He might catch on after 3. Maybe he'll be a cool and benevolent guy. But I would have if I got a call tomorrow that said like, you done? I would be like, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Like no gripes there. Would I be disappointed? Sure, but I would have no problem to that we deserve it. So
such bullshit. We had Cohen's Corner in our mind. I was gonna buy a trumpet. I was gonna learn how to play Edwin Diaz's song. This is some fucking malarkey. Steve, listen. Steve, if you're listening, I know you're not on Twitter or you have a burner.
He's in our clubhouse right now.
I know you've listened to the show. Steve, just buy the podcast. Portnoy will be so mad. $10 million. We are yours. We are yours. Right. Fucking door. We will fucking hype you up as much as we have. We'll pump
10 million would be nice if I'll take Steve Cohen can buy We Gotta Believe outright for literally whatever he has in his pockets right now. He's probably got like 10K cash on him. I'll be like, okay, it's yours. It's fucking yours. I mean, he can have it for free. What about I am trying to align myself. I got one dude who's 100 millionaire who fucking hates me. So that's out of the fucking question. I need to align myself with somebody mega rich, and my only chance is Steve Cohen. You can have me for free. Whatever you want, man. I will literally be your fucking bitch.
You know how Dave's paper hands? Steve Cohen is diamond. He's fucking cord. He's made of all diamonds. He's Thor's friend. He's fucking a diamond. He's just a living, breathing diamond.
He literally is. You think Lil Uzi's fucking with his 24 million diamond in his head? My man Steve Cohen is worth billions. So Steve, if you're listening, let us do our outings, and you can own the podcast for free if you want.
And let me just say this too. We had some people saying like, Barstool needs to be like wiped off the earth. They should be banned from Citi Field forever. KFC and Clem should be like relinquished their fanhood. Kiss my fucking ass. Get the fuck. I went through the Wilpons my entire life, and because my boss spews off, like if Jeff Wilpon did something stupid as the head of SNY, you're gonna throw Gary, Keith, and Ron into the fire? Go fuck yourself. Rough and rowdy my ass. Rough and rowdy. You're gonna kick me off of this fucking franchise as we're about to fucking. I hate the fucking moon. Go to the moon. That is fucking a phrase I can never hear again because I associate it with all this pain. Take me to fucking Jupiter. We're going to Jupiter.
Yeah, whatever's beyond. I know. That's a good analogy too with SNY. I think it's crazy. Barstool always gets that treatment where one person speaks for everyone. Like, did you stop watching NBC or whatever when Matt Lauer came out? Do you stop when there's an ESPN scandal? Do you stop watching the whole fucking channel? Like, no. Everybody has their own voice and their own opinions. We have the smart ones. We have the right ones. They're dumb and they have the wrong opinions. What do you fucking want from me? So, and by the way, anybody who thinks that Dave even like takes a moment to fuck with Steve Cohen if he's not my owner, you know what I mean? Like if that was just another billionaire, he probably mixes it up once or twice, but he's really like putting the screws to him because he knows the whole fucking story.
He did say on his podcast when he stepped back and thought about it, he's like, that guy could actually end me if he wanted to. Like if he just decided.
He did say that? Okay, good.
Yeah, he's like, if he decided to like wake up tomorrow and was like, I'm just gonna go after this guy, he goes, I'd probably be done.
Can I tell you something?
He's not wrong.
Can I tell you something? I have given my entire adult life to this place. I have sacrificed so fucking much. And I wanted Steve Cohen to end this place. I wanted it. I was talking to Large about it. I was like, this fucking dude has the means, the resources, and now like the motivation and like the evidence, if you will, like he was in the right. He could have. I mean, could you imagine like Steve Cohen puts Nate in the crosshairs? I mean, I was like, do it, fucking bury this place, bury it. I would have turned so fucking fast. I would have been like, "What? I'm going on Steve Cohen's side."
Kept pouring gasoline. They're like, "What are you doing? Get out of where is for surviving Barstool?" You just pouring gas into the place and like giving Stevie the book of matches.
I did that. That's interesting to hear that even Dave said like, "Yeah, this guy could kill." And
he did also say that he said he backs down to no one except for QAnon. He goes, "Those guys came after me," and he just tucked tail and ran.
Did he?
Quickly. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because they actually like tweeted out.
Wait, no, not QAnon, anonymous.
No,
right?
Anonymous. Yeah. Anonymous.
Yeah. QAnon too. I hope he like QAnon fucking scares me as well.
Yeah.
But
anonymous. That's what
anonymous. He doesn't fuck with. I feel like Steve Cohen is not above that. Like he is such a billionaire that it's like he might not. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this doesn't even register. Maybe he put his phone down, deleted Twitter, and went to an auction and bought $100 million fucking thing. But if you believe that he's like Bobby Axelrod, he might have had a thought of like, all right, like I got like a month or two before the season starts. Let me just take these guys out real quick, you know.
That's what I was scared of. Now we're in like his domain. He's a sports owner. We're talking like stock markets, right? And Steve Cohen. I mean, if he could shut down, like, these guys think Steve Cohen just stopped the stock market. He could just fucking just kill stocks. That's what I think. He's a fucking murderer. He's Thanos. We've been calling him Thanos for months, and everyone just thinks he's just going to be fun, and we're just going to rib him. And you know
what would be sick, Clem. See, imagine this. Imagine if he didn't delete his Twitter. Imagine if he started tweeting back being like, okay, little man, like it's on now. And then imagine he just a Steve Cohen selfie video where he just snaps and then deletes his Twitter. The last thing he puts out is a fucking Steve Cohen snap video. And then everyone was coming for that ass. And I would gladly like piss on the ashes of this place after Steve Cohen burns it down. He had one tweet and his downfall during that back and forth. Steve Cohen knows almost everything in this world, as far as I'm concerned. Smartest man on the planet. The one thing he doesn't know, because he hasn't had the experience yet, is social media and Twitter. The minute that he had like real life replies back to Dave rather than like returning shots, but those real life replies were so telling. Where he was like, "What are you talking about? Like, no, I don't have any fucking thing to do with this. Like, what do you mean If you actually think that, like, call me. And I was like, that was actually a very innocent response. And I think that really proves that, like, yeah, like, why would I be out here talking about all this shit openly if I was pulling the strings behind the fucking scenes? But it just doesn't play well when you're talking shit on Twitter. So, Steve, again, I know you're listening. So, like, let me be. I've said this so many times before. When I retire from this place, well, now I want to go be a reality TV show host. But if that doesn't work out, I want to be like, let me do your PR, because I will tell you what's going to be a story, what's going to be a headline, what's going to make you look stupid. Run it by me. If I tell you Barstool would blog about this, then don't fucking do it. So let me be your social media PR guide, Steve, and I will tell you what to say and what not to say, and so that way you don't get in a fight with a fucking paper hands bitch baby like Portnoy.
Yeah, Twitter is not for facts. It's not for rationale or anything like that. It's just it's entertainment. It's fucking gladiator. It's Maximus. You just fucking yell the loudest and you make the most. Hey, people were just like tweeting things about the whole entire scandal. Reddit posts. Hey, I'm an employee for Robin. I'm like, you don't fucking know who's who. Even if there was you can just say whatever the fuck you want. This is the internet. The internet is this nice little, cute little fucking thing. It is a fucking monster. It is a fucking monster.
It's not a nice place. It's not a fucking fun place. It's not a nice place. It is a horrible place. And if you get caught up in it, I don't care how rich you are, how smart you are, how successful you are. You know what he should have done? You ever notice in these back and forths, whoever is the more famous, less internet regular person wins, like, no matter what they say, like one reply back, like when I had my shit with Pete Alonso where he said something like you're a bad fan or whatever, everybody was just like, oh, like, you got dunked on, because it's like you just don't expect that person to be kind of mixed. Like me and Barstool, yes, this is what we do. If you're the outsider who comes in and talks a little shit, everyone immediately is like, oh, you killed it. If Steve Cohen just wrote back, shut up, bitch, it would have been like, dunked on him. That's all he needed to say, was just like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like that girl talking shit to LeBron. If she was just like, yo, fuck you, man, everybody would have been like, oh my God. And facts don't matter. Nothing, whatever Dave said after that, it wouldn't matter, because the billionaire dunked on him by calling him a bitch. But he didn't know, and he tried to make it like, let me actually explain myself. Steven, there's no explaining. Nobody fucking listens on Twitter. They just react. So don't ever try to explain yourself on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, we had it with the blog. We're just like, the blog Nate wrote, that headline is just like, Erica Nardini is either dumb or the devil. Like, it's such a preposterous blog. It's like you just can't give it any mind. You just move on to the next one. Who gives a fuck? It's just, Pam Beasley. Look at these two pictures. They're the same. Look at these two blogs. They're the same blog, right? That's exactly what that was. Yeah. So, yeah. And every time anyone with like more than 20 followers tweets, ratio. People are just replying ratio to everything now. It's
I know. Now, what I was hoping, and I don't think this is the case, but I did think for a minute there, because I know this is what I was going to do. If I was Steve Cohen, I would have been like, go get Trevor Bauer right fucking now. We are changing the headlines. We are turning this whole ship around right fucking now. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what with Bauer, there's a little bit of worry about the locker room and the clubhouse and that kind of shit. Whatever. Turn the fucking story. Go get me Bauer. Now, we do what? We kind of have an offer out there. We have like a friendly, like kind of ballpark offer. Do we have like a standing offer that he could accept at any moment? Or is it like hey, what do you think?
What I saw was that the Dodgers still have to offer him. So he's going to decide on us after he gives their offer. So we have opt-outs and all this shit in there. I saw somebody tweeted that their friend is a real estate person in New York and was showing him apartments in Long Island City for Zoom. I'm like, I don't believe any of that shit up until he signs on the dotted line. Exactly.
If you're looking for an apartment in like Cleveland, maybe. Rich people get apartments in Miami, New York, LA, like, you know what I mean? But Bauer, Trevor, Bud, we got like 2 weeks, right? Like, what's going on? Like, at this point, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Dodgers are just waiting and maybe they'll pull it out. But I feel like he's not going to get a long-term deal right now. It's going to have to be something like, well, let's just get you on the books for like this year because it's fucking almost March, and like we'll just do a short-term thing. But I kind of feel like he's got to be considered as like overplaying his hand at this point, no? But this is kind of what Bauer does, right? I don't think this even bothers him. Where he's just like, I'll get paid eventually. I already have enough money. I heard it was like 3 to 4 years, and that there was a ton of like player-friendly opt-outs where he could
Because
Walk it every
listen,
time.
he only pitched like what 13 games last year and won the Cy Young. Like he doesn't have the body of work for the money he's asking for.
Right.
Nowhere near it, frankly. Like
No.
yeah, he was a good pitcher the last 2 years, but to ask for like more annual,
What I really like about
average,
him,
whatever than Cole is just like
that weird shit where like he's so in tune with his body where he wants to pitch every 4 days, and you know what I'm talking about. Like he although the last time I heard that was Tim Lincecum. I remember Tim Lincecum's dad saying the way we train, he'll never get hurt, and then it was like, see you fucking never. So maybe that's all bullshit. But I do like. Part of me thinks it's almost Max Scherzer-esque. Like remember when Scherzer like had thrown way less pitches than anybody his age, so he really wasn't like going to break down anytime soon, and he turned down that huge money and ended up being the right move. So I'm hoping that's like what could happen with Bauer. If I played any sport and if I had the goods enough, like he's enough, like I agree with you that he's not as good as what, you know, is floating out there, but he's got the leverage. I would do every contract I sign would have like an opt-out after like every fucking year. That would be like my number one thing is like, I just want all the flexibility in the world. I would gladly take a little bit less money for like all of those things. But what's the deal? People seem to fucking hate his agent, huh?
Rachel?
Yeah.
Agent Rachel?
Yeah. I don't follow her. I don't know enough, but I just see that people do not like her.
I think everyone's just getting tired of all this shit too. I mean, I know I'm tired of it. We were tired from it from the jump. I mean, we also live on this stuff, so like you can just kind of tell when someone's really trying to make a mark. And I appreciate him trying to grow his brand. This is like his decision. Like he tried to make his decision. Except it's like if LeBron was doing it for like 3 fucking months and doing YouTube shows and getting quirky with what hat he wears, we'd all would have lost it with LeBron at one point. But yeah, I think people are starting to I'm starting to lose my patience with just Mets Twitter reacting to everything he says. So then I get mad at their reactions to his posts. So then it's just this fucking like we're losing our minds about Aaron Loop. Oh, this, and we need to get this guy as our like 5th inning guy. Who gives a shit? We finally have money now, and let's just sit back and relax and let the grown-ups do the work.
You know what I fuck with? Rich Hill. I could get down with that. I could really get down with that. I mean, I think last season he had like a 3 ERA or something like that. I know last season's weird, but that's the kind of like that's a little Bartolo-esque, a little bit like JV Bartolo, where he could come in and be like the old man.
My dumb brain, any lefty, I'm just like,
Yeah, I know.
If you're lefty and you're old, I'm like, oh, you must be wily. Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. If you're a lefty, you've made it this long. There's got to be some reason why. As long as, of course, like that. You know what? The Mets would do that in years gone by and be like, he's our number 2, and we'd be like, go fuck yourself. But if this is clearly like, you know, back end spot starter, mop up man, whatever, let's rock with that. What's your insight on Rich Hill?
All right, so I've had Rich Hill, I think, every year in the last 4 years of fantasy because he's always out there because he's always hurt. Uncle Stevie has to invest in like a blister cream or some sort of like preventative surgery to like stop blisters or like give him like a steel finger or something like that where he can learn how to hit the baseball. Because I'm telling you, we're the Mets, and as this offseason has shown, we are still the Mets, even with a very rich, beautiful, wonderful owner. This guy is going. I mean, let's see. He pitched 2 games last year. 8 games last year, 13 the year before, 24 the year before. Like he's going to get hurt. And this is the thing. This is the worst thing. We know this more than any other franchise. It's like Rich Hill is going to be back. He's only going to miss 1 start. Rich Hill will be back in a week. Rich Hill will be back next month. And it's one of those moving goalpost things. I think because it's always like some blister or some stupid fucking injury. I'm just saying, guys, like just temper your expectations on Rich Hill. But I'm 100% right. So people are calling him Dick Mountain. I mean, that's all you need. You have my phone.
I want to make a Dick Mountain shirt very, very badly. The good news is between obviously DeGrom, the return of Noah, Carrasco at the back end, Stroman somewhere in the middle. These guys are not, whoever we do fill in is really going to be more of a back end guy. Thor is back. I don't know what to think of Thor. I mean, there was a time where I thought he was going to be like the best pitcher in baseball. And then he kind of got hurt, obviously. But before that, there was just years of like, you're not really putting it together. Like you got like a 4 ERA. He's infuriating because he'll pitch to a 4 ERA with games where he throws shutouts and games where he gives up like fucking 8 runs. That's his 4. Rather, it's inconsistent kind of in a good way where you'll see flashes of absolute fucking dominance. But I think we're past the point of like he's been in the league for a long time now. and you kind of are what your resume says at this point. I think the stupidest thing he ever did was bulk up when he was like, I want to put on like 40 pounds of muscle. Like that ain't, you're not a fucking tight end, dude. We're talking about you got to be limber and loose and flexible and shit. So I hope, if you get like Thor at his best paired with DeGrom and some of these other guys, and forget about it if you had someone like Bauer and he pitches like a Cy Young. I
just don't want it to be like we sign Bauer, we have Stroman and Thor, and then it's a 3-ring circus on fucking Twitter and YouTube, and then you got Alonso with his show. Like, I just don't want – they're all about their brand and their personality and shit versus like a Conforto, a Nimmo, who I'm not even a fan of, or Dom Smith. And just like show up and do their job.
Let's relax. There's gonna come a time in like probably like 2-3 seasons where like the great Nimmo schism, like one party will win. He'll eventually be like, no, he's like a fucking quadruple A player, or he'll be the MVP. I don't like him. I like him as a person.
Same.
I don't think he's good like some people think he is. And we'll find out in a couple of years. It will be, one of us will look stupid.
JBJ now, they're saying, I don't know if you guys saw that, he's looking for more than a 4-year deal. Like, would you guys give him that? I understand that we have unlimited money.
I'll give him like a 5-year deal at like $6 million total. Like, you know what I mean? You want to do that, okay? But what the fuck is? Get out of here. I agree though. Like, talent wise, again, even without him, this team's good. If you add someone like Bauer, you're talking like contenders to take out the Dodgers. Like, I think if it all clicks. As always, the thing that can take this shit down is, off the field nonsense, and you'll have quite a bit of that. Thor is I've been very open about it. I don't like Syndergaard. I haven't liked him like personally for a few years now, but that doesn't mean I don't want him to go out there and fucking throw hammers at people. But like, hopefully, maybe he's changed his tune now that the Wilpons are gone. I know that he really didn't like them, so maybe that was a lot of his disgruntled behavior. Maybe a little bit of humble pie. Maybe, when you see what Jacob deGrom's been doing, maybe a little more like, hey, maybe I should be like that guy. But we need to tone down some of the personality. The problem is, except for Syndergaard, nobody has had like a problem yet. Like Pete Alonso's still like, I got to grow my brand because why not? But we're going to have to go through those growing pains where he'll get in trouble for his YouTube this year. And you know what I mean? Like, those things are bound to happen in the first couple of years if you're going to be an internet personality. And unfortunately, those first couple of years are right fucking now for a lot of these guys when we also have, this window coming together.
I actually think I have the perfect comparison to Noah. And this is how I think it's going to turn out. I think we're going to be all right with Noah. He comes back. Hopefully he's healthy. As long as he's healthy, his mind's right, and he wants to get his money right. He is our Tim Riggins, or he's a Riggins brother. Super talented, nice enough guy everyone seems to like enough. But if you have the wrong parents, or in this case, an owner at the top, shit's just going to go wrong. And that was the tragedy of the Riggins brothers, right?
Okay, I can get down with that. But now we got like Coach Taylor coming in.
What?
Now we got like Coach Taylor coming in. Right.
Exactly. Right. And don't forget Mrs. Coach too. We love Mrs. Coach. We love Mrs. Cohen, all that. They're gonna go in, they're gonna nurture Noah. I'm sure Stevie has his like hand in a bunch of he didn't just buy a bunch of baseball card shit. I'm sure he has some media companies he fucking dabbles with. He'll fucking grow Noah's YouTube, grow fucking Peter. I can't believe we're talking YouTube channels and all this shit. This is fucking bananas. But it's true. So I think we're gonna be okay with Noah.
That really might be like the truth of it all, though. It's like if you were really disgruntled about like your boss, your owner, and then all of a sudden that radically changes, I think there's a chance that changes your attitude as well. But there also has to be like a personal change, I feel like, where it's like, dude, what I loved about him was he was like very cocky and cocksure, but you have to perform to back that up. When you don't, people are kind of like, what the fuck? So God, though, wouldn't that be fucking so awesome if he was just – I wonder how much, like anything else, it's like when a new coach comes in the college program and he like, gets rid of these players and starts fresh. Like, is there a chance that Steve Cohen doesn't like Michael Conforto? I would be fucking heartbroken and I would really question the new regime. But I like the fact that Sandy has been around, so like probably knows these guys and has faith in them a lot. Sandy was the one pulling the strings when he brought up Conforto, right? The World Series years. So like you have to imagine he likes him. But what if what if Cohen's like, I don't think he's worth an extension, and it's all because he, wasn't here for Mike, like on his come up. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to work something out, but that's a little bit of trepidation I have, where it's like that kind of happens in sports sometimes, where you want your guys from your regime to make the moves.
I'll go a little. I'm going fucking crazy pop culture reference on you here now. It's fucking what's her name? Dory, when she gets fucking stung by the jellyfish. Uncle Stevie just went into Twitter and he did not come out unscathed, right? He had fucking a bunch of craziness. Know what you know what you don't know. Kevin Clancy is your social media guru. Sandy Alderson is your baseball guru. If Sandy says you re-sign Mike, you re-sign Mike, you re-sign Thor, whatever Sandy says goes. And I feel like Sandy I think he's probably so bummed the way the 5 aces didn't work out. He wants to kind of recreate that. So if he gets Bauer, and then like this is like the grown-up version of all those guys where, Harvey obviously was hurt. You couldn't do anything about injuries and shit like that. And Matt's was a fucking disaster and everything else. But I feel like maybe he wants to like kind of reform that. And
but what scares me about that is like, if you believe in Conforto, the sooner you sign him, the cheaper he's going to be. Because I think if he has another monster year and he's like, I've hit 25 home runs in isn't it going to be like 4 or 5 straight seasons now? Like I batted like 330. Like he has some big numbers that he just keeps putting up. So go ahead. He's probably like, all right, I'm going to go do my thing another year.
Everybody took last year as like his coming out year, but the dude hits 85 RBIs a season, like regardless. He had one season where his shoulder popped out and then he came back too soon. So I do think that they're going to sign him just because you don't let Springer walk for $15 extra million to go to Toronto. Like if you don't think that you're going to try to re-sign Conforto right away, you're an idiot. Because look at DeGrom. Like if they didn't extend DeGrom and then he won his second Cy Young, he wouldn't be here right now.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Shout out Brody.
I think of him as not the same level because Jake is just generational. But I think of him as like the offensive, the bat version of DeGrom, where it's like, get it now, lock him up because there's good years ahead.
Yeah.
And I would do it. I would have done it already, but
the scary thing is that it's a Boris thing too. It's our first Boris versus Stevie showdown, and that's what I don't like about it. Right off the jump, and it's like he knows Conforto. If Conforto was a dick or he did have some like inconsistencies, but he's a consistent player who everyone fucking likes. I imagine in the clubhouse and in the fan base.
Fleischman gang.
This could
he gets his haircut at the Fleischman.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
There you
Great
go.
guy. He's a great guy.
That's how he gets such a nice what's his fiance's name? It's like
something absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Cabernet
Conforto. What a woman. I love her. I fucking love her. Welcome to the family, Cab. That's the most outrageous goddamn name I've ever heard in my life. Everybody getting married. What are these guys doing? Alonso getting married. Conforto getting married. What are you guys doing? Supposed to go play baseball, win championships. You have sex with girls on the road, then you get married. What are we doing? Come on. These fucking religious guys, these idiots.
Fucking just take care of business. Just settle down in bed. Look at Jake. Jake fucking married. He's happy. He has a nice contract, couple fucking trophies in his case. Everyone just go to bed early, 10 o'clock at night. Stay away from all the fucking scumbags who are in the front office of your team, your managers, anything like that. I want my players home.
Let's wrap the podcast, but can we do a couple hands on Clubhouse? Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody that wants to throw up their hand.
Okay. Jilly, I'm inviting Jillian to speak. I don't care if she wants to or not because she's been around for so long. She has to talk.